at 6:32. We'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge to the flag of the United States and to the republic and one nation under God, indivisible, and for all. Thank you. Okay, item 3, before we approve that, I'd like to ask the other council members that under the circumstances of 2 of our members being absent, do we want to continue with the agenda or table it? Not table the whole agenda, just the old business and the carved market.
First of all, I'd like to take a roll call, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, yes. Sorry. Here.
Scott Meyer, not here. Dan Hughey, not present. Chris McCright, here. Ed Brand.
Here.
Mike Kelty, here. Thank you.
Okay, we have a quorum. And now if you would, if the other council members would consider my discussion before we proceed.
So regarding the old business, I would like to continue that conversation this evening.
Okay.
Regarding Landmark Park.
Okay.
I'm okay tabling the minutes approval from the past 2 meetings.
Okay. Is there any other comment?
I'm fine with that too.
Okay, would someone like to, I talked to Adam and he says even though the members are not present, if the members present are in favor of making a motion and a second on the minutes, even though they weren't there, it's proper. So would someone like to make a motion that we approve the meeting agenda?
I'll make a motion. To
real quick, I'd just like to say, if you wanted to add the carve item
Right.
onto the docket.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there'll be an entry of, would this be under old business or new, Adam?
New.
Okay, let's make, under 6, we'll have carved market. Okay,
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting agenda for today's October 16th RDC meeting, including adding the carved market discussion to new business.
I'll second that.
okay, I got a motion on the floor. It's been properly second. All in favor of the motion signify with the usual sign.
Aye.
Aye. 3 and 2 absent. Okay, the next order of business is a continued discussion of the RDC financial commitment for the improvement of Landmark Park. Adam?
So just real quick, just to be clear, you tabled the minutes then for those 2?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so for the next item on your agenda is that continued discussion about possible RDC funding for a financial commitment for improvements to Landmark Park. And at your last meeting on September 18th, you had committed $175,000 towards design on the improvements. But town staff is looking for up to $2 million to fund the total scope of improvements to the park. So at the last meeting, you had asked for Buzz Crone, our CPA, to attend this meeting and to comment on cash flow projections for TIF revenue. So he is here and can speak or answer any questions that you have on that.
Thanks, Adam, and good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
For the record, Buzz Crone with O.W. Crone and Associates. We've been, working with Adam and Joe and Missy on a lot of different projections right now with the budgets and all that going on, but particularly the TIF projections, because you've got some big projects coming up at the park. I love this market thing that I've heard a little bit about, but the other big project down the road would be if the extension of Garden Street? No. Pardon me? Madison. Thank you, Madison. Highway 13, basically. And so, yes, we've been working with the county auditor to get information on what we're expecting to continue to receive with what we have right now. If the Bogner project goes through, we've got projections that now reflect the phase-in of the SEA 1 exemptions that they've put in for not just homeowners, but also for the 2% taxpayer class, which would include apartments and so on. So there's little chicken and egg issue always with these kinds of projects, but I think that they're negotiating some sort of a commitment that they're going to be on the hoof until they build what they say they're going to build, basically. And I think that the other side is going to go quickly too, because if they buy that land, that's commitment. And they wouldn't buy both sides if they didn't have a plan for that other side. So I feel good about that. Now, in our cash flow projections, we primarily just focused on Bogner, but that could easily double if that other side builds out in any type of relatively quick timeline. So we feel comfortable that you've got the funds to continue with your plan for the Landmark Park and still be able to fund other projects such as the extension of Madison Street. But that, and I would entertain any questions from you all.
Well, thank you, Buzz, for coming and informing us on our cash flow for the next few years. I have no questions. Does any of the board members have any questions?
Thank
Well,
you.
if not, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anybody here from the Reynolds Construction?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So if you state your name and your position, please.
My name is Doug Tischbein, representing Reynolds Construction.
Okay. And I guess what are you asking now?
The original budget was set at $2 million, which included the $175,000, which you released at your September meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still We're just starting design. We're getting the survey started. We're spending some hard money based on the funds that you've already released. We still feel, based on what the scope is today, that the $2 million number is still a good budget. Now, I know there's some concerns that were voiced in the last meeting about the fitness center and whether that's going to stay in the final scope of work or not. If that doesn't, I think based on your direction, if you want us to proceed with still pricing that into the scope, and then if we're over budget, you deduct it later, that would be a recommendation. But right now we're asking for the 2 million.
Okay. So if we approve this 2 million, at what phase can we decide on the fitness center?
It'll be before the end of the year.
Okay. Is there any questions about that?
Yeah, a couple questions. So I spoke to Scott Meyer today on his behalf, and he spoke to Dan as well. Both members are missing here this evening, but they're both okay with moving this project forward. The one concern I think would be the sports fitness court that you're referring to, Doug, and seeing that credit, come off the total bill. And if that's 2 million and we anticipated 300,000 for that sports court, we expect, somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.7 to complete the park. When could we see the final, the final total, the final draft of this? I know we did pledge some money to get you guys started, so you do your due diligence. But when would we see an actual number in front of us that this will cost us?
So the way the BOT process works is to develop a guaranteed maximum price at 70% design. We are anticipating we'll be there by the end of this year. And then you go to 90%, and then you go to final. If it's a $1.7 million project, it would be good not to design things that we think are not going to be in the scope at the end, right? So if the fitness center is of a concern, and I think our original budget on that was around 300,000. If you just give me direction not to spend time in really designing and developing that piece, the process will go a lot faster, and I'll get to a number a lot quicker. Then the budget's at 1.7, and that's absolutely fine if that scope item comes out.
So, I can't speak for the other council members that are not here. I can't see a use for that myself. Now, I don't know how the other board members feel.
I think it's unique, and I like unique. I think our town can be unique, but I'm not sure the use that it's going to get, what that ROI is going to be on that. May become subject to vandalism. If it's pieces of equipment, et cetera, or maintenance by our parks department. I think talking to the other two members that are not here, I think they would like to see that go away, Ed. And I don't think I disagree with that.
Yeah. If that's your direction, I'm fine with that.
Mike, do you have an opinion on that?
So, no, I don't necessarily have an opinion, but recollecting from the previous meeting, which was my first meeting, I'm pretty confident that Scott was opposed to it.
Mhm.
And Ed, I know you were opposed to it, and Chris, you've just said you are, so I'm fine with that. I don't know that it's a part of the project that needs to be included right now.
So what happens next year if we decide to add that? By that being phase 3.
I mean, you could add it at any time. I mean, we can, that's not that complicated of a piece to put together because it's kind of a package deal, right?
Mhm.
So it comes kind of as a bundled asset, and it's not that difficult to design because it's already, my understanding, it's pre-designed. It's just a matter of the engineering about the excavation, the groundwork, any electrical utilities that support that asset is kind of where the design team has to direct some of their services. So, you know, if I come in at 1.7 without, and the community decides that maybe it's an asset that you want because there is some discussion and it's going to be used, then I think it would be easy to add it back in and give you what that number is.
Okay.
The other option, I mean, I sit on a parks board for a neighboring community, and we're doing a lot of not to exceed contracts and budgets at this point as well. So, you know, if you got a higher number and you want to not include, or numbers come in pretty well, then maybe that's another procurement model that you wanted to use for this one. Just do a not to exceed at 2 million, and then that's what the number is, just as an option.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, was there ever a survey sent out to the town? The fitness court? Okay, okay.
Time to do that.
It may help if there were greater detail about what the equipment is.
Yeah, it was in the design. It's laid out in the footprint of the park. And it shows kind of what the equipment and the structures, and 'cause there was an I think what Libby has found out is that the other communities that have this, it's an outdoor asset used for, one side of it is just kind of a flat area for working out, doing yoga and those types of exercises, where the other one actually has structures built in so you could work out with what's currently there instead of bringing your own or going to the gym. It's an outdoor fitness area.
Kind of like some of these things you see on trails where you stop at certain areas and
Yeah.
there's some kind of stationary equipment there that's permanent that you would use.
And this just puts it all in one place.
Mhm. Okay, is there any other questions?
I don't have any.
Okay, would somebody like to entertain a motion?
So I don't mind making a motion. I'm speaking just on my behalf here. If for some reason we can't come to an agreement today, the three of us that are here, what's 1 month due to the schedule if we have to push this to next month's meeting while we have two other council members here?
You know, it just pushes everything back. So now we're really back 60 days. And so when it comes to the ordering of equipment, gazebos, playgrounds, and everything else that are new assets coming into the park, you're going to run the risk of price escalation and further delay schedules.
Before you make a motion, Chris. So this is my second meeting. And I think it's great. I haven't had a chance to talk to the council yet, but my impression from last meeting was that you guys are in favor of it, correct? No, of the improvement to the park.
Yeah.
And Joe, you are too. I would hesitate to make a motion or second a motion because two of the members aren't here, but you've talked to them. So that's a bit of a relief to me. Scott seemed to be on board with it.
Scott made it very clear today that he trusts us, obviously, and he has our blessing for whatever we think. And he's all for the park,
Yeah, that helps.
the improvement. Dan is as well.
That helps. Scott?
So he's made it very clear.
Well, that's good. I mean, that's important.
And he
wish
lives,
they were
he lives
here,
right next to it, so. helps his property.
Yeah. So, I'm waiting for a motion.
Yes.
Can you make a motion to approve it with the not to exceed number, with the caveat that if you want to come back at a later date and add that, that would just be now phase 3. And just get the funding, we need to come back and just get the funding. Or the funding before it.
It's a good idea.
Remember, too, we haven't gone out.
Good point.
Right. Okay, I'll make a motion to consider a financial commitment of 1.7 million for improvements to Landmark Park, with the caveat that we can add on to that in the future, if so desired. Not to exceed 1.7 million.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to authorize Reynolds Construction of $1.7 million for improvements to the park. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. It's been properly second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
3 and 2 absent. Okay,
Thank you.
and if you could, possibly, without inconvenience you, could you come back on our next meeting? And maybe we can discuss the activity center or the activity area.
In November.
Yes. Would that be inconvenient for you?
Yeah. I'll try to align the design team to focus on that piece of the improvements so that we could get
Yeah.
a better number for you if that's.
You know,
what you're
just
at.
kind of keep it there because I want to make sure that the total board is for not including that.
Sure. Yep. And if you want to send out a questionnaire, we're more than happy to help you with that as well.
Very
Okay,
good.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay. The next order of business is, the Carve Market expansion parking lot lease. Is there a representative here for that?
Yes.
Okay, would you state your name and position, please?
I'm Jeff Kaiser from Carve Market, and I'm the president CEO of the company.
Okay. And what is your wishes today?
Well, my wishes, I guess, are a little bit, I'm just trying to get the lease rate that would work for Carve Market to be on Broadway. The actual, I think the way it's going to go is you're going to lease the parking lot to Randy, who is the building, or lease the parking lot from Randy, the building owner, as public parking in exchange for him giving me the lease rate that works for Carve Market for us to locate there. So I'm really, I guess it's more between the town and the owner of the building, which is Randy.
So didn't we already make a commitment for that?
Yes, and we had a hard finding out what the lease rate was going for years 6 through 11, 11 through 15 options. That's where it became difficult for Carve. Which
So you want to change the original agreement to 11 to 15?
Yes, and a descending funding for leasing the parking for the public parking spot. It goes from a $40,000 a year commitment to 20,000, and then the last term 15,000. And what that is, that's subsidizing the lease rate to Carve.
What was the last figure you said?
15,000.
So you're wanting to add those 3 years to your lease, right?
Correct. Those two terms, 2 5-year terms.
Okay.
Which, for easy math, that turns into a $375,000 commitment for a 15-year lease on the parking lot. And Adam or Randy can chime into that if I've misunderstood anything in any way.
Adam, would you like to elaborate on that?
Sure. So back in August, you had approved, the board had approved an LOI in which Randy, the owner of the property, would remain the owner, and he's going to lease the space to Carve, and a portion of the space to Carve, and then lease the parking area to the town for public use. And so contributions from Jeff Kaiser from Carve Market and contributions from the town for the parking all go to Randy, Randy Hood, the property owner, and his group. So it gives him the equivalent of a price per square foot that he's looking for. So in August, the board had already approved $40,000 a year that would come from the town. And then Carve would pay $12 a square foot. And so as Jeff had explained, and just to elaborate on that, is because of the investment that Carve is making both into the renovations of the building and to their equipment, in order to pay off that investment, they will probably need to go through years 6 to 10, and then probably to 11 to 15. And so both those years, 6 to 10 and 11 to 15, would be options. But assuming that they exercise those options, then in 6 to 10, Carve would pay 16, it would go up from $12 to $16 a square foot. And then our contribution would go down to $20,000 a year. And then in years 11 to 15, Carve would pay $18 a square foot, and we would contribute $15,000 per year. So there's no change to years 1 to 5. It's only in the options for years 6 to 10 and 11 to 15. And so that would equate to what I think it would be an extra $175,000 that would be asked. So therefore, the total town commitment for leasing parking for the public would go from $200,000 total spread out over the next 5 years to it would increase to $375,000, potentially up to 15 years. So from a staff perspective, it seemed as if it was a fair way of taking the training wheels off of the government subsidy, going from 6 to 10 and 11 to 15, but it was a way of still continuing to provide that service to the community of a public parking area and just spreading it out over a longer period of time, but it also makes the numbers work for Carve Market as well. So from my perspective, it seemed reasonable, and most importantly, it seemed to be a reasonable way to aid in the project and provide a public benefit in terms of that public parking and to assist with having a new grocery store, an additional grocery store in town.
Thank you, Adam. Is there any comment from the board?
Jeff,
What
what
Let
about
me-
years 16 through 25?
I'm sorry, what?
What about years 16 through 25? Because I hope you're planning on being here a long time.
For sure, you know, I guess maybe I would flip that over to Randy. So I'm sure we can work something out. Yeah, we plan on being here forever, you know. We love what the town is doing and but yeah, uh for certain, I guess Randy, I never thought it was fair for him to stick his neck out any further than 15 years. We all hope the town's flourishing and Carve is flourishing and we hope we can pay what the building's worth at that time. So
Okay.
you know, and to be totally clear and going back to August, we are not a full grocery store. We would be specialty grocery items, meat market, deli, and our to be determined format of like a cafe, sandwiches, smoked ribs, you know, where we would have a smoker on site. So that portion of the cafe is a little bit to be determined. So as it is in every location we're looking at, it's just kind of fitting the needs. We're primarily you know, about 70% fresh cut meat is what we sell. So in terms of a full-blown grocery store, I don't want to mislead anybody in that way at all. We leave that business to the Walmarts of the world and the Dollar Generals in terms of all that laundry soap, paper towels and stuff. That will not be us.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Is there any thing from the board?
Yeah, I just wanted to verify. So on the August 20th LOI, under minimum rent, it says the town of Fortville will pay $8 per square foot, basically for the public parking. That's not on top of the 40,000, is it?
No. It's one and the same based on 5,000 square feet of
Okay.
what they would take.
Okay, thank you, Adam.
I think, you know, I think we all would like a cleaner LOI to look at because that's so many things have changed in the process. So I don't know how quickly Crystal can get that around.
Pretty quick, she says.
Pretty quick, okay.
Okay, is there any other questions? Nope. Okay. Well, I'll entertain a motion to accept the new conditions of the parking lot lease.
I'll make a motion that we add years 6 through 10 with Fortville contributing 20,000 per year and years 11 through 15 at 15,000 per year.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and it's been properly seconded to extend the lease to the new requirements. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 3-0. Congratulations, Jeff.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We look forward to getting to work. Randy and I getting to work on this. So
Thanks, Jeff.
thank you.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is the review of financials. Is there any question on the financials? Okay, if there's none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the financials as written.
I'll make a motion to approve the financials as written.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion that's been properly seconded on the floor. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye, 3-0. Okay, the next order of business is approval of invoices. We have one for Bose McKinney for $2,568.
Yes, and
Do I have a motion to?
real quick, I just wanted to mention for this particular invoice, this is related to the SC Bodnar project, South Madison extension. So under the terms of the agreement that the town has with them, they will actually reimburse this. So this will be paid by the town, of course, if you approve it. And then Bodnar will reimburse the TIF fund.
Thank you, Adam. Okay, any conversation about this invoice? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve the Bose McKinley and Evans invoice of $2,568.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. It's been properly second to pay Bose McKinley $2,568 with the agreement that it'll be reimbursed later to the TIF fund. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
3-0. Okay, staff comments.
Nothing for me unless you have any questions on anything.
Board comments.
I have none.
Great job, Ed.
Thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, I have a motion on the floor to adjourn at 7:09. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Have a motion on the floor. It's been properly second to adjourn the meeting. All in favor? Aye. 3-0. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Alex.
Have a good night.